Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Kickoff Talk. I'm Jeff Kirik, sports editor of the Erie Times News, and I'm, as always, with Tom Reisenweber, high school reporter. And this week we're going to do something a little different in that we're going to both do Kickoff Talk and our call in the same video. We're getting down to sort of the meat of the season where we don't have that many teams left, so we're going to combine the two and talk a little bit about Tom's picks for this week. First of all, we have once again a sort of varying array of games. We have two championship games, we have three sub-regional games, and we have two semifinals.
Yeah, it's all over the map, and I think we'll get caught up in maybe 2 weeks from now. We'll get caught up with the same round for everybody playing.
Is that right?
Even next week we'll have a championship game with 3A, and then state first round games. So it's all over the map.
We have 5 games on Friday. For 2 of them are championship games, Class 1A. In Class 2A and Class 1A, we have Farrell versus Maplewood. And this is one we've been looking forward to because Farrell has been on a roll since losing 2 in a row to open the season. Maplewood has been on a roll all season.
Yeah, it's contrasting styles because Maplewood has been a pretty good offensive team with J.D. McFadden, the all-time passer in Crawford County history, and Caleb Donor, who went over the single-season rushing record for Maplewood last week. Can they score on Farrell? And not only can they score enough? I think they could get a touchdown or 2 against that Farrell defense, but they have to stop Farrell if they want to win this game. Farrell's been on a roll offensively last week, 42-0 over West Middlesex, and it's going to be tough. I have Farrell winning 35-14. I just think they just have too much firepower from Maplewood.
How many shutouts in a row is that for Farrell now? Is that 8?
Well, I think it's 9 on the field.
Are you counting the forfeit?
8 on the field, 9 total or something like that.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
Ever since August, they've not allowed a point.
They have did not allow a point in September or October, so that's pretty amazing. But let's give Maplewood's defense some credit too. They've played well all season, and they shut out Reynolds last week.
Yeah, it's kind of poetic. They beat Reynolds 36-0, the score they lost to him last year in the playoffs. It was just an impressive effort all around.
Once again, only a fact you'll get from Tom Reisenweber.
It's just it was an impressive effort by Maplewood last week, and this is only the second time ever they played for a D-10 title. In 1993, I believe, was the other time, and they lost that game. So they're looking for history here.
Yeah, and Farrell, of course, won a state championship last year. In Class 2A, we have another team that was in the state championship last year and has been rolling this year.
Yeah. Wilmington, they've been off for, I think, like 3 months now. Just waiting for a game to be played.
Well, you only hear it here from Tom Reisenweber because that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a total of like a 21-day layoff for them. Because of the 6 classes, playoff structure.
Tom likes to blame 6 classes for most everything.
And I was talking to Bob Greenberg from Mercer County, and he said that Ethan Susan could be back this week.
Is that right?
Which is big for them.
Because for the postseason, that's huge for them.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a little while. So, Wilmington at full strength. They may have a little rust those first couple drives, but I think they'll shake it off pretty quickly. Greenville, obviously, hung tough and got a quality playoff win last week, 14-10 over Northwestern with a late touchdown drive. But I think Wilmington's going to be too much. I have 35-7 Wilmington.
Gotcha. Okay, let's turn now to sub-regional play where we have Class 4A, 5A, and 6A. We'll lead it off with Cathedral Prep coming off a victory over Fort LaBeouf in the District 10 championship game. They're going to Pittsburgh to play University Prep.
Yeah, I think the one thing we took away from that game against LaBeouf is with Jaheim Howard, Prep is a much better team, and they're a formidable team for the state title now with them being healthy because it affects so many things with offense and defense with them.
And special teams.
And special teams as well. University Prep, 8-2 this year. They did not win the City League Championship. They lost to Westinghouse 12-2. But their only other loss was to Steubenville, which is Powerhouse in Ohio. They beat Farrell 14-12 in the first week of the season. They beat Sharon 21-3 a few weeks ago. So they're not as bad as they were last year when Prep destroyed them. But I don't think they have enough to beat Prep this year. I still have 42-14 Prep, just the way Prep's playing right now. University Prep, it could be a tougher team on their home field. I just think it's too much for them to overcome.
You were at last week's game with Cathedral Prep and Fort LaBeouf. What do you like about Cathedral Prep right now, besides regaining Jaheim Howard, who's a multi-talented player?
Well, their offense did a lot of nice things. Coach Fisher said that they scored basically every drive against LaBeouf, and that's a pretty good defense for LaBeouf. But I think what's sticking out to me now is the defense is playing really well, and I think with Jaheim Howard back, you get Luke Sittinger back on defense a little bit, and Howard on defense as well.
Those two can stay a little fresher.
Exactly, and that defense, they had some things to clean up. Obviously giving up 40 points to Geary, I think, kind of woke them up a little bit. So I think the defense is playing playing well is going to be the key for the rest of the way.
The other thing about prep is that they have not only have balance on offense, but they have big play balance. They can hit the big play on the run. They can hit the big play on the pass receptions with Jalen Carson and Jack Odakoven.
Yeah, those two kind of get lost in the shuffle sometimes because how good the running backs are, but those two receivers, they're almost uncoverable at times because they're so big and they are so fast. And we saw that last week. The Fort LaBeouf defense bit pretty hard on a play fake, and Jack Odakoven was wide open for a touchdown.
And Tamar Sample has been able to hit them since he's been starting.
Exactly, and he's not your typical backup quarterback that took over. I mean, he is. It looks like he's a seasoned veteran out there, and really is smooth with everything he does in running that offense.
Now let's turn to Class 5A, where Oil City will play Hollidaysburg at St. Francis. Oil City coming off another close victory over Meadville in the District 10 championship game. They've had a few close games in addition to the District 10 title. But they've been able to stay undefeated the whole year.
Yeah, it was kind of almost like a nightmare coming true for them last week. I think they gave them like a 96-yard touchdown catch to Meadville, and they were down 7-3, and it's like, oh, the season could be over here. But they hung tough, got that last touchdown to go up 9-7 and hold on defensively to win that game. Holliesburg, coached by Humberto Latre, former Corey coach, they're 6-4 this season, not having a great season. In 4 straight weeks, they were blown out by State College, Cedar Cliff, Fort Hill, who prep tuned up, and McDowell. Yeah. And
those are 4 very good
teams. Yeah. They did beat Du Bois 41-18. Oil City had a stop 2-point conversion to beat Du Bois. I don't know how much you can read into that because when you go to Du Bois, defense and stuff go out the window. Yeah. But Holliesburg, they're a decent team. I just think Oil City, this is going to be their first ever Piattaway playoff win.
Yeah, but this is a dangerous one though.
It is.
If they come in overlooking because of a 6-4 record,
especially going on the road 3 hours, it's going to be you got to get down to St. Francis University, get ready to go. I have 28-7. I think Oil City probably pulls away in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Also, Class 6A, we have McDowell playing State College at Veterans Stadium, so they'll be home on home turf, so to speak. McDowell obviously coming off a win against Erie High in the 6A District 10 6A title game. We said we'd recap that a little bit. You were there. What do you think?
Yeah, it was good to see Danny Blue back out there. He had 2 nice touchdowns. It's funny, he got hurt on the second carry of that game, and he still had 13 carries for 135 and scored 2 touchdowns. So his health is kind of an issue right now. Elijah Lopez, same thing. They didn't have him again this past week.
Elijah Lopez, obviously their other big-time back, 1,000-yard back, who is all about quickness. So an injury can slow that down.
Yeah, and you look at if you think maybe Danny Blue is the MVP of that team, offensively and defensively combined, I think Elijah Lopez might be the offensive MVP just because of the season he's having and the impact he has.
Along with Chris Ukno.
Yeah, Ukno as well. But so those two, their health is going to be a big key in this game. Those two play. I think McDowell beats State College. If Danny Blue plays and Lopez does not, it's going to be a toss-up, I think. If they both don't play, I think they're in real trouble. So it's going to see, it'll come down to a game time decision what happens there. I have McDowell finally beating State College 35-32. I think they lost to him like 3 or 4 years in a row now. Yeah. So they're really kind of amped up to get that first one over.
Is the defense at all a concern here toward the end of the year after giving up 30 points to Erie High and 29 to Prep, or is that just a case of game situations?
Yeah, you look at Prep, obviously – they gave us 2 touchdowns early, but then Danny Blue was hurt. He's a big part of that defense. And then, Erie High, he wasn't playing defense either. So if he doesn't play, the good thing for them is he's been out so long, they've been able to adjust and have new guys step up without him. Yeah, and have some guys step up for him. If he plays, that's a hammer in that defensive backfield to knock some guys over. But this could be a shootout with McDowell and State College. In
the past, State College has had some big play guys, and they've played pretty fundamentally sound football all around against McDowell. Do you have any sense for them this year?
Yeah, they haven't. They're 9-1. They lost Central Dauphin big, but they beat everybody else. They have a new quarterback, Brady Dorner, who has thrown for 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. They've forced 17 turnovers this year, including 11 interceptions, including 4 by Dresden Green. I think they have 2 linebackers with Division I offers. So their defense is going to be pretty good. Chris Ukno is going to be a key in this game to kind of find those holes. Obviously he's got some really good receivers in Brady Sobolewski and Mike Beneski, but he's got to get the ball to him. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust throughout the game.
Let's turn to Saturday's action, where we have the Class 3A semifinals. A game at Meadville High School. We have Harbor Creek still unbeaten versus Sharon. And we have at Wilmington High School, we have Hickory versus Grove City. Let's talk about Harbor Creek first and their ability to get past Slippery Rock last week.
Yeah, that was a big win for them, not only to get a first playoff win, but to the way they did it. I mean, Slippery Rock was coming back in that game. It was 20-3 Harbor Creek at one point. Slippery Rock came back 2017, had the ball, and Harbor Creek had 3 interceptions in that second half. So they really did a great
by Ryan Whitman to sort of
Whitman clinched it. John Bolin, big man D-10, caught one as well, and that was fun to watch. But that was a good confidence boost for them to know they can play with some of these Mercer County teams. Sharon, they've been rolling. Lane Wojtek's having a great season. He's over 7,000 yards passing. I think Harbor Creek's big advantage is their depth on defense and offense. They keep running guys in and out. They have a ton of different guys. That's why you don't really see anyone having crazy years number-wise, because everyone is contributing. Merrick Bauer had a great game before he got hurt, 2 long kickoff returns and a couple touchdown catches, and there's so much depth on this team. It's gonna be tough. Sharon is a very loaded team. They have so much talent. I think they have a little too much. I have them winning 28-17, a close one. Sharon's played some classic games at Meadville the last couple of years against Mercer's Prep. This could be a similar type game.
And one edge they have is they've been in a bunch of big games especially the last 2 years, where they went deep into the PIAA playoffs both years.
Yeah, I think it's state semifinals both years after winning the D-10 title, and
a lot of these kids were on that team.
And Ty Eagle's having a big breakout season at wide receiver. Brady Ortiz is having a big year in the backfield. The weather maybe plays a little bit of part of this. If it's snowing or if it's raining, you got to go your running attack. And I think Tyler East could be an advantage for Harbor Creek, but we'll see what the conditions are on Saturday afternoon.
And we got to say, too, Casey Smith needs to be mentioned here. What a season he's had. He's been super efficient at quarterback this year.
He's been great. I don't think he's thrown a peck yet this year.
Is that
and
right?
He reminds me a lot of, ironically, Andrew Tomko of Sharon. Like, he'll stand back there. The line's been giving him a ton of time this year, which has been great. But he'll stand back there and wait till someone's open. He won't panic. He won't throw it away. He'll make you come get him, and then he'll make a big play out of it. And that's what he did against Slippery Rock too. So he's having a great year at quarterback.
Do we have any word on Merrick Bauer?
I have not heard anything. I think he's going to be okay, but we'll see. But he's such a big time play.
He has made nothing but big plays all season. It seems like every time we're taking a game stats for them, and there's always a 40 or a 35 or an 80 in there for Merrick Bauer.
He changes the field on special teams with his big-time returns. I think both times against Slippery Rock, it was the kicker that got him, or else he would have 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
That's funny. Okay, down at Wilmington, we have Hickory versus Grove City. This is a rematch from this year.
Yeah, Hickory won 21-19. I think Grove City failed on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, or else they would have been going to overtime. This is almost a coin flip. I think Hickory's been kind of proving themselves this year. Bill Dungy's done a great job his first year as head coach. I'm taking Hickory 27-24, but it's going to be a great game either way. They have Hunter Stutes back. He's been injured the last couple of weeks.
Michael, he had a long run.
Yeah, that long run for a touchdown last week. Michael Henwood's been great at quarterback, kind of an MVP type season. Grove City's had some guys step up, including Colby Nelson and Logan Breeze at quarterback. And really, these two teams are just loaded for bear, and it's going to be a great game.
All right, it should be an exciting weekend, and we hope you enjoyed our coverage of the District 10 and PIAA playoffs. Look for coverage all weekend on GoErie.com, on Varsity Prime, getting all the scores, and look for the next day's coverage in the Erie Times News, both on Saturday and Sunday. Thanks for joining us.